Hi, welcome to Redeemed. I've been free from pornography for 47 days. Keep praying for me and I'll pray for you guys. Hi guys, so you're gonna have to bear with me. This is my first video, obviously. I mean, I've been doing YouTube Reels, but the idea of this video is it's gonna be me just telling my story of how I fell into pornography and how I found pornography. So I guess I'll just jump right into it. Yeah, when I was 7 years old, I discovered what masturbation was. And that was a very confusing time for me because I had actually never really received any sex education. And since I hadn't, I didn't know what was going on. But I knew something felt wrong about it. It felt like it was out of place. I felt like I had to hide it. And so I did I didn't tell someone until I was 17. So, 10 years of just keeping this secret in my heart. And it weighed down on me every day. I remember just like, I would bring it to the priest in confession eventually. Like, it took me a while to figure that out. I'm Catholic, by the way. And it was really a confusing time. And after a while, I finally came to my own conclusion after like kind of learning some stuff and figuring stuff out, and I figured out the name eventually, that it was called masturbation. So I found out that it was wrong, and I started to work against that. And then when I was, I was 12 years old when I discovered pornography, and I was just up late on the computer one night, just had the laptop in the kitchen, and it's kind of a funny story, honestly. I was just on YouTube, and my exposure to pornography was not like most people's, where you get sucked into it because you see like this picture of a woman that's completely naked or something like that, like in a magazine or in a video or a picture. I didn't see that. I actually was just on YouTube, and I just came across a video of two people kissing on New Year's. But eventually, I kept on like kind of peeking back at that, just like searching it up. And I started to find more and more stuff on YouTube, and obviously, thankfully, YouTube doesn't allow more than that. But eventually, I got a hold of my mom's phone, and I found it. I found a porn site. I found Pornhub, and I started to look at these videos, and I felt this deep sense that it was wrong inside of me, and I knew that was wrong. I knew porn was. I don't know why. I think it was just because even though I hadn't received such sex education, I did know that people naked and in a video wasn't necessarily a good thing. So I knew that. But after that, it was just like a drug. It was like I watched that one thing, and like I couldn't stop myself. I just had to have more and more and more. And it got to the point when I was 15, 16, 17, I was watching it all the time. All the time. There were times though when I would actually like bring it to a halt, and I would stop for a few months. And the problem with that though was that I stopped, but it was just white knuckling, like that was all I did. It was just like I stopped because I didn't want to do it, and like I didn't really have any other reason for that. I was just like, this doesn't make me feel good, and like God wasn't super involved in that. Like I prayed about it sometimes, but not really. And eventually, when I was 18 years old, I started to get much more serious about it, and I started to like just try more to like talk to people about it. I started opening up. I had told some friends. I met this one girl at a Catholic conference. Her name, I won't say her name, but she helped me a lot because I found out that she also had some of the same problems as me. And I really felt like I was able to open up. And that was the first time I was able to really, truly open up about it. But after that, it was kind of like a landslide. It was like, I want to tell people. It wasn't like I wanted to. I wanted to have accountability. I wanted to have people in on it so they could help me, because I felt really alone. And at that point, I couldn't really go for much longer than like, I think like a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe. Then I hit 19, and things got really, this is just like 2 years ago. Things got really like messy. I started to get really lonely, because I think my main trigger for pornography was loneliness. I wanted intimacy so badly, and I couldn't get it anywhere because I wasn't allowed to have a girlfriend, which is in some ways a good thing. But I couldn't get that intimacy that I needed and that I wanted so badly. And I'm a crazy kid. I've always wanted to be married, and like I'm possibly getting married soon, but that's a different video. But I had always wanted to get married, and that was always what I took into pornography. Pornography is bad, obviously, but I was always looking for that couple that loved each other. Actually, like it wasn't even a desire to just like see crazy things. It was just like I wanted to see two people having a truly intimate moment with each other. So, but obviously I never really found that, except very rarely, and it still isn't real. But things got crazy when I turned 19. I started to really look into some crazy stuff. Like I started to try to hook up. Like I was all over online trying to figure out ways to hook up. Thankfully, I didn't really figure out how to do it. And I got close a few times though. And I would lose money on sex chats, and I called sex hotlines and that kind of thing. And every time I just felt like garbage. I felt like total garbage, and I just never wanted to do it again. But I would keep falling into it because I had no self-control. In fact, I was also addicted to video games, and I had severe depression just from everything. And some days I literally couldn't even get out of bed, and it was awful. Like it was the worst thing ever. And then in the midst of all of that, because I had my high times, of course. In fact, I was quite happy when I was high in the clouds, And one day I met this girl who I won't name, and I fell head over heels in love with her. She was my first like actual like girlfriend, and like obviously I was taking it straight toward marriage. I was like, let's go, And her and I eventually just didn't work out, and a lot of things kind of went crazy, and she told me that she didn't love me, and we broke up, and it just threw me into this like crazy depression. I couldn't live with myself. I hated myself. I hated her. I couldn't forgive her. Someone else in the situation ended up dating her, and it really hurt me. And I'm still in the process of forgiving both of them. But I try really hard every day to forgive them. But it was just like my emotions were going crazy, and like I was not ready for a relationship. I was not ready for any of that. And in the midst of it, I'm taking all of these emotions and all of this craziness and all of this loneliness, and I'm putting it straight into pornography. And I'm using that as my quick fix and as like my therapy, so to speak. And I didn't see that, but I was. And people kept trying to help me. I kept on asking, like, please help me. But I was so obsessed. It was like when they tried to help me, I almost like undermined that. Like at one point I got a phone blocker, like a porn blocker on my phone, and it just like, I would just sneak around, and like my accountability partners never knew when I was looking at pornography because I found out ways to get past it. It was an obsession. It was terrible. And it was like, that was all I could do. And when I wasn't watching pornography, I was masturbating without it, and it was making me more and more depressed. I felt stupid. My brain felt like it just didn't work right. And like I said before, in the midst of that, I was playing video games and just wasting my time. And all of that came to a screeching halt when I turned 20. I went to a snowboarding resort, and I was just snowboarding, having a great time. But like a lot of things were hanging over my head because obviously just things that I had done and hadn't really worked to get out of. And I ran into this girl, and she made me feel so comfortable. And I was just like, wow. And as you guys might have guessed, she's my girlfriend now. And she became this like powerful incentive for me to just change. And I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, like, is it okay to accept help? Is it okay to like be okay with trying to get better for someone? Like, is it okay to, I guess, feel like there's a woman that needs you and that, because like I'd never been really told this stuff. And my dad was like, yes, like that is totally a good thing. And I was like, wow. And I felt like a weight was taken off my shoulders. I was like, wow, I can like actually use this as a motivation because she loved me so much. She loves me so much still. And ever since then, like it was just like hard work, but it was all uphill. It was, it was all uphill. There was bumps in the road, but like I'm making it now. And that's kind of leading towards where I am today. And I'm just so thankful. Part of the reason I made this channel is because I don't ever want to forget how amazing my life is now compared to how it was then. Because I was in a prison and it was terrible. And I hated it, and I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel happy. And I didn't feel God at all. And this girl has really brought me to God too. And it's not just her either. It's like she told me once, she said, well, more than once, she said, I fell in love with God before I fell in love with you. And if you want me, then you're going to have to find him. And that was hard. I was like, wow, I need to figure out a way to be a godly man. And that's been my motivation, is just like, I need to be closer to God. And I'm sorry for all my viewers that don't believe in God, but it's just, God is the way to escape this addiction. If you don't pray, it's hard to find success. It is. It's hard to do this on your own. And the thing that I'm here to tell you guys is that you don't have to do this by yourself. You don't. You can ask God for his endless mercy and help, and he will help you. And he will help you get out of this, and he will help you be happy and joyful, and he'll help you to feel whole. And obviously there's resources, and there's things that I'm gonna put down in the description that you guys can check out, that are just really good ways to help you get on your feet and help you to start on that journey. But like, God's grace is the only way that you're gonna get out of this sin. And that's why I made this channel, is because I want to pray for you guys, and I want to help love you guys and help lift you guys up and bring you out of this. Thank you for watching this video. I'll keep praying for you guys. Pray for me, like and subscribe. Let's help each other to be free from pornography. I'm praying for you guys, and I love you. God bless.